Salutations, hello, hi, and welcome to Basic Public Speaking. I'm Christy Thomas. I'm your professor and instructor for this course, and this is the weekly chat for week 1. Week 1's dates are January the 12th through January the 16th. So I'm going to start this video just kind of discussing what you're seeing when you first log on to Blackboard and what to expect this week. So when you first log on, it's probably going to look a little overwhelming at first because I will have the first 3 weeks of this course and everything involved. That means lessons, anything that's due will be open for your viewing pleasure. I do this so that we can really just focus on navigating. This may be your first time taking an online course. It may not, and I'm sure each teacher sets them up differently. So this way it's there and we kind of see the first few weeks with navigational purposes. The very first thing when you log on to Blackboard is there is a welcome video from myself. I'm introducing myself and how the course is set up. So for a more detailed version of how this course is set up and expectations of this course, please check out that video. It gives you a better rundown than what this video will do. I also want to say, and this is a reminder because I say it in the introductory video as well, is that when it comes to this course, once a lesson or an assignment, which is mainly speeches, is open, that module remains open for the entirety of the course. The only thing that is open and closed kind of weekly or bi-weekly would be weekly videos. And the weekly video chats are in they're kind of a union with the weekly announcements and emails that I send out at the beginning of the week. And for the purpose of this course, all information for the week will be uploaded no later than the Monday of that week by noon. I say noon because I have 3 school-age kids, and you know, Mondays can be really Monday and hard to get out the door, so I always say noon. It's generally open before then, and sometimes I'll even open it up on the Friday before, but according to the syllabus, no later than noon on Mondays. When it comes to your assignments / speeches, those modules will always be open at least a week and a half to 2 weeks in advance. And as we get further in the course, I kind of just open them all up at once. And I generally also provide Word documents and video lessons and all the good things. So again, back to when you open up Blackboard, it's going to look a little chaotic. It's going to look maybe even overwhelming, and that's okay. So you have the introductory video of myself, and then there is a welcome module. In this module, you're going to find important course information. This information includes the syllabus, and in that syllabus, it gives you important dates and percentages of grades and just information, your course number, the year, whom you can contact for what, and what protocols to follow in case of weather or anything that could prevent from school going on. And if you're in a dual credit class, I will also, not only will I follow ACTC schedule, but I'll also follow your school schedule. So if for some reason ACTC has school that day, but your school does not, and we are meeting team meeting wise, we will not be meeting. I hope that makes sense, but I'll clarify that a little bit more. Also in this welcome module is a weekly calendar, which will also have its own little tab on Blackboard itself. I like to put the information out there for this course numerous places, just so accessibility. I like things to be easily accessible and open for communication. If there's any confusion, it's easy to access. Anyway, a weekly schedule, and I adhere to the weekly schedule pretty easily. Not easily, I adhere to it pretty well. If for any reason something changes, I always let you know. Nothing will ever be due sooner than what's on the schedule. I may extend a due date depending on, you know, if it, like last winter, it was a pretty intense Mother Nature. It was very much on the rampage, and we didn't meet for, you know, the few weeks because of weather, and that can also have a hindrance on your ability to get online. So, you know, I try to work around these things as well. There's also Word documents of descriptions of the main speeches and storytelling speeches, along with video chats with me discussing them. But as I say in the welcome video, each speech has its own module. And in these modules, you find a Word document and a video of me discussing topic, genre, description, along with any technical requirements. Okay. And there's some other little blurbs, and when you're on Blackboard, there's also going to be quick links to ACTC's academic calendar, the library, which comes in handy for not only this class, but any other course. It's just a quick click link to that as well, public speaking blurb, and just other modules. There's a video discussing tips and info for this course with helping when it comes to uploading videos, because who doesn't need a little extra information? And again, there will also be a document that involves due dates and how much each speech is worth, a grade breakdown if you would, and then a weekly calendar as well. So again, I try to make everything pretty simple. And you're also going to find a video chat of the first 3 weeks breakdown. That's just me discussing what we're looking over lesson-wise and what is due, along with a Word document that says the same thing. Again, I will tend to post information repeatedly. At the beginning of each week, you'll have a video chat that coincides with an announcement / email that discusses what we're looking at. What's going over that week, what to expect. And then at the end of it, I post what is due, if anything is due that week, what lesson. And then I'll also put future due dates if something's due within the next few weeks. Now, closer toward the end of the course, I just put remaining due dates. Probably around spring break-ish, every email and announcement will have everything that's due past that, just so we can move forward. Okay, that was a lot of background information. Let's get into this week. So again, this is week 1. Hello, hi, welcome. I look forward to this course and getting to know you through your speeches. So let's just discuss this week. Again, your dates are the January 12th through the 16th. What do I want you to look over this week? Well, all the welcome information I just talked about. That's going to give you course information, how things work, what we're looking at, all the good things. And again, we are figuring out, we're navigating Blackboard together and navigating this course together as well. With that being said, look at the welcome information and then look at the communication. It says communication theory, process, that module. I always post this, and I post this in any course that I teach, because this is the basis of all communication. And it gives you pictures, like PDF pictures, along with terminology. And some modules will show it kind of as a spiral. Think of like a cyclone, tornado-esque. I like to think of it as a circle from sender to receiver, and the channels upon which you can communicate, and then what can hinder that communication, be it, internal, external noise, or just where we are. There's things that can hinder and things that can help. So I always include that. I love to include that. Also, like I said, the first 3 weeks worth of assignments are posted. Please don't let that freak you out. There's something due every day, every week for the first 3 weeks. Yes, but fear not. Week 1 is a check-in questionnaire. I know, crazy. Basically, this is a way for me to take roll, to see who's logged on, who's checked out the information. It's just a few questions. You click on the link, you can plug and chug the information, and then just send it back to me. Pretty straightforward. Or resubmit it that way with the answers. That's due by Friday, January the 16th by 5 p.m. Most due dates are Friday by 5. The only time this really changes in this course is A, if I extend a due date, or B, the final due date, like the final cutoff due date, is on a Wednesday during finals week of ACTC. So that's the only time we really veer off of the Friday due date. So you just have this check-in questionnaire. And I know some people may not enroll into this class until later. So these first few weeks, I'm also pretty lenient about submissions. We're navigating, we're learning, we're catching up. So, but just be aware that you have a check-in questionnaire, kind of a roll attendance thing due on Friday, January the 16th by 5 o'clock. Okay, great, grand, and wonderful. I'm kind of going to go ahead and talk about what you're also looking at for week 2 due date, because there is a module called Canon's Rhetoric of Public Speaking. There's a questionnaire associated with this module. The fun thing with this is that we do this questionnaire, exact same questions twice. We do it once here in the beginning and once here at the end. The one at the beginning, and never fear, there is videos and Word documents breaking down terminology with canons and rhetoric, what it means, what it says. So this first time you do this questionnaire, this is just, you answer what you think it could be. There are no right or wrong answers here. This is a gauge thing for me. You know, where are we at? Do I need to readjust some lessons so that it makes more sense, or break it? You know, it's just a gauge for me. So there's no right or wrong, but we do that questionnaire during week 2, and we'll do it again at the end of the course. Exact same questions, only this time only that time you will apply what you have learned throughout this course to these questions. See, nothing to be scared about so far. But that's your Canon's Rhetoric world. And that's week 2. But that module is open. The questionnaire is open. And I know some folks thrive in procrastination. Kudos to you. I'm going to touch it, column A and column B. When I say that, then there's the folks that like to get the information and get it done and be done with it and out of the way as soon as possible. And they can focus their attention to other parts of the world. So, like I said, I'm a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. I wouldn't say I'm a definite procrastinator, but I'm also not always on top of it, so to speak. So that's your week 2. I'm not going to discuss the lessons yet. And then the first speech that you have due, that's due at the end of week 3. That's an introduction speech. I'm not going to go into the details here, but it's the only thing required with that is a video of yourself recording, a video recording of yourself delivering the speech. So kind of the way that you see this video or any video from me, I must be able to see your face. Pretty straightforward. This is a public speaking course. You can't just turn in an audio recording to me. It has to be a video of yourself delivering the speech. That is in the syllabus. That is a requirement for this course. But that's not going to go, I'm not going to discuss details on that. And plus it has its own module. So you can go ahead and peruse it. There's just a few points that you have to hit. There's actually 5 speaking points in this introduction video parameter that I give you in that module. So, a lot of information. I apologize because the first few weeks is a lot of information coming at you through videos and modules and announcements and emails. But a lot of it also is repetitive information because I want to give you multiple venues upon which you can access what you need for this course. I also want to remind you that there is no textbook required for this course. I provide everything. Every lesson module has its own Word document, PowerPoint presentation, publisher PDF, and all those come from the publisher. Then there is a video lesson. There may be multiple video lessons of myself breaking down key points, terminology, ideologies, and giving examples in the lesson as well. And sometimes I also include various lessons from YouTube videos that give different perspectives and point of views. Because who doesn't enjoy multiple perspectives? But I never require a textbook because I provide everything from the publisher in the lesson modules. I just want you to be aware going into this. The way the lessons are set up on the course, and this is discussed in the introduction video at the top of Blackboard, is that when you look at Blackboard, lessons will be opened as they appear on the weekly calendar. So, we've got communication theory and Canon's Rhetoric module. Then under it is when we start getting into speech genres, informative speaking, foundations of public. They will be open as they appear on the weekly, so you can kind of follow along. Like, okay, so the last few ones are open are the newest modules. Boom. Above lesson modules is where the assignments are posted, and they are posted from newest to oldest. So when you first get on there, you're going to see the check-in questionnaire, the round 1 questionnaire for the rhetoric canons, and then the module for the first main speech. And as I open up the speech modules, it'll be right above the lessons will be the oldest one, so that's going to be your first main speech, and then, storytelling, main, storytelling, to where at the end of the semester, the first on the assignments, first thing you see on the assignments will be the final speech module. I hope that makes sense, but it'll make more sense as we continue through this course. So, quick recap, I don't know if that's possible for me, is that week 1, January 12th through the 16th, look at all the introductory information, all the welcome modules, videos, all the good stuff. Check out the communication theory, and you can go ahead and start perusing the Canon's Rhetoric module as well. Due this week by 5 o'clock on January the 16th, that's a Friday, is your check-in questionnaire. Just a few questions, and you just resubmit that. When you submit work, allow up to 1 week for me to for that to reflect onto Blackboard. So if it's you may submit it, that doesn't mean I'm automatically going to have it graded and uploaded. Allow up to 1 week for seeing grades, and for some reason something happens and it's taking me a little longer, I'll always let you know, like, okay, I'm working on it. Instead of Friday, expect it more maybe the following Tuesday. Again, I am very transparent with communication and try to be very open so that it makes everything, like I said, I'm a big fan of making things easier and more accessible to folks as well. So that's week 1. And I look forward to getting to know you all through your speeches. If you have any questions, concerns, or just need a chat, please reach out to me via email. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I'm pretty good at responding quickly, even if you ask me a question, I'm like, hey, I'm not near my computer. I do have your email. I will respond to you in more detail when I get the chance. So, I hope you are enjoying your first week. And that's about all I got today. Thanks so much. Bye.